Hello everyone, welcome to ACE Online, and I'm back with another practice set, that is practice set number 07. So in this particular practice set series, we are going to discuss the expected problems which will come in your examination of LIC AAO, right? So don't forget to share the link of the session in your respective groups so that more students can join the session and can do practice more and more. So without wasting any more time, let's start this particular set, and in this particular set we are having a questions from the quant section, and mainly we can say that in this particular video we are going to discuss the arithmetic problems, right? So the very first question that we are having is this one. Sanjana invested rupees 15,000 in simple interest at the rate of 2x% per annum for 2 years, and the same amount is invested in CI at the same rate of interest. If she received the rupees 150 more interest than CI, then find the rate of interest per annum. As you can see that here we are having the rate of interest is 2x. So basically we have to identify the value of 2x, and here we are having our options, right? So we know that you have to solve it. You are having like 30 seconds or 40 seconds for this particular question. And at the same time we are discussing few points related to SI and CI. We all know that the interest for the very first year for the both CI and SI is same. And here if we are having difference, then we have to consider the CI is also for the 2 years. As most of the people are thinking like the time period for CI is not given over here. But here it is clearly mentioned in the SI part that the time period is 2 years. So we have to take 2 years time period for CI also, right? Now, if you know the basic approach where you are not going to use the conventional method or the formula base, then you can quickly answer it. If you will go through the conventional method where you are going to write off the formulas first and after that you are putting the values, it consumes your time, right? So let's see how we are going to solve such type of problem. We know that the principal amount, the principal that we are having is of 15,000. That is 15,000 rupees. The time period that we are having is of 2 years, and the rate of interest that is given in this particular question is 2x%. Right? Okay. Now, if you heard about the T approach that we follow whenever we are having this type of problem. Now, in T approach, we just simply write the principal over here and just make the branches as per the given time. So here we are having 2 years time period. So I am making 2 branches over here. This represents my first year and this branch represents my second year. So with the rate of 2x%, how much interest I am getting in my very first year? So I know that here I am getting 300x. Here I am getting 300x. Why I am writing it like this? Because I know that when I calculate 2x% of this one, these two zeros are eliminated with this one, and ultimately I am getting 300x. Ultimately, I am getting 300x. So this branch represents my first year and this branch will represent my second year. And here also I am getting the same interest. Okay. We know that whenever we are having this type of thing, this line, this horizontal line will represent the total SI we are getting. This represents the total SI that we are getting for this particular amount of money. Now, we know that CI says that whatever interest we are getting in the first year, we will also get the interest on that particular amount for the next year also. So on this particular amount also, in the second year, I am also getting interest on this particular amount with the same rate of interest, that is 2x%, right? So here it will become like, it gives me 6x square. This is the interest that I am getting on this particular interest. This is the interest that I am getting on this particular value of interest, right? Okay. Now, we can say that this value represents our first year and this value represents our second year. This value represents our second year, right? And this combined value will represent our total CI. This complete value will represent our total CI, right? And for the very first year, as we know that the CI and SI is equal, so here we can say that for the very first year, both CI and SI are equal. Okay. So we can say that if we talk about the difference in between CI and SI, in this particular thing, it is nothing but it is equals to 6x square. This is nothing but this is equals to 6x square, right? But the question says that the difference that we are getting in this particular case is equals to 150. The question says that the difference that we are getting is not equals to 6x square, it is actually equal to 150. That means this 150 is equals to 6x square as per our question. As per our question, this 6x square is equals to 150 rupees, right? Now we can easily solve it. We can just simply eliminate it with the help of what? With the help of 3 first. So here I am getting 2. Here I am getting 50. Now again I can eliminate. Here I am getting 25. So basically I can say that the value of x square is 25. So the value of x is nothing but 5. The value of x is nothing but 5. But what we need to find out? We need to find out the rate of interest, and that is nothing but that is 2x. So the rate of interest that we are getting over here is the rate of interest that we are getting over here is 2x, right? 2x%. Now I just simply put the value of x over here. So 2 into 5%. That means the rate of percent that I am getting over here is 10%. Option number A is the correct one. Option number A is the correct one. The rate of interest that I am getting in this particular case is what? 10%. Is it clear? So whenever you are having a questions from the concept of CI, SI, just keep this point in your mind. Whenever we talk about SI, the simple interest, the principal amount will always remain same, right? So the interest that we are getting for every consecutive year is same. But when we talk about the compound interest, the principal amount is changing continuously because we are also getting interest on the interest that we are getting in the previous year, right? So that's why here we will see the difference in between the interest that we are getting for this specific time with the specific rate. Is that clear? And for the very first year, the value of both CI and SI will always remain same for the same amount with the same rate. Clear? Okay. Now let's move towards the second question and let's see what it is and how we are going to deal with that. So the next question is, a candidate who got 20% marks fails by 9 marks, but another candidate who gets 35% marks get 12 marks more than the passing marks. Okay. Find 125% of the maximum marks and also find out the passing marks. Okay. So here in this particular question, you have to determine the two values. First, the minimum passing marks, and the other one is like 125% of the maximum marks. So for this particular thing, you are again having the story of two different students, and with the help of that, you can easily able to determine the minimum passing marks as well as the maximum marks, and with the help of that, you can easily able to determine the 125% marks. So your time starts now, and please do answer, like write your answer in the comment section. So basically, we will start with a story. So let's suppose this is the total range of the marks, right? And here this vertical line shows the minimum passing marks. This vertical line shows the minimum passing marks. First, we are like solving it without introducing the variable. You can also introduce a variable if you want to, right? Minimum passing marks. Okay. So the question says that there's a student who secured or who got 20% marks and he failed by 9 marks. So here we don't know the exact value of 20%, but we can say that if he will get 9 more marks, then he will reach at this particular position that shows the minimum passing marks, right? There's a one more student who secured 35% marks, but he'll get 12 more marks than the minimum passing marks. Okay. So with the help of this data, we can say that here in the percentage value, we are getting a difference of 15. We are getting a difference of 15%. But when we talk about the numbers, the difference in between these two is like of 21 marks. The difference is of 21 marks. That means we can say that this 15% is representing this 21 marks. This 15% is representing 21 marks. That means I can say that 1% is representing 7 by 5 marks. This 1% is representing 7 by 5 marks. I just eliminate both the terms by 3, right? If the value of 1% is 7 by 5, so now can we able to determine the minimum passing marks? Yes, we can do that. Because we know that the minimum passing marks, minimum passing marks is nothing but 20%, right, plus 9 marks. I know that we can't directly add these values, so that's why I'm just finding the value of 1%. So the value of 1% is 7 by 5. So I'm just writing 7 by 5 into 20 plus 9, right? So here I can say that this is eliminated by 5 and we will get 4 over here. So here the minimum passing marks is 28 plus 9. That means the answer is 37. That's what we are having over here. That's what we are having over here. So this is our minimum passing marks. If this is the minimum passing marks, so can we able to determine the maximum passing marks? Yes, we can do that. So the maximum passing marks. Maximum passing marks is nothing but is equals to 100%. Is nothing but equal to 100%. So we know the value of 1%. So 100 into 7 by 5. And here we can say that this is nothing but this is 25. No, this is 20, sorry. This is what? This is 20. 20 into 7, this is nothing but 140. 140 is the maximum marks, but we have to calculate the 125% of this 140. So we can say that, the 125% of maximum marks is nothing but is equals to 125 by 100 into 140. Into 140. So this is nothing but this is the 5/4 ratio. So we can write it like 5/4 into 140. So here we can say that this is like something, here we are getting like 270, 135. And when we multiply 5 with 35, we are getting 175 as our answer. Do we have that in our option? Yes, we do have that. So the option number D is the correct one. Option number D is the correct one. Please remember one thing over here. Here we are dealing percentage and the number directly. But here, if you will see here, we are not actually taking the percentage. We are taking the value from over here because we calculated what is the value of 1%, right? So this is the method by which you can easily do that. If you don't want to do that in the similar manner, so you can also deal it with like. So here the question says that 20% of maximum marks, a student achieved 20% of the maximum marks, and if he will get 9 more marks, he secured the minimum passing marks. But there's a one more student who secured 35% marks of the maximum marks, and he will get 12 more marks than the minimum passing marks. But we know that in both the case, the minimum passing marks is equal. So that's why we are like writing it like this only. We are writing like this only, right? So this line shows my minimum passing marks. Minimum passing marks, right? But from this we can easily able to determine the value of x, and this x shows my maximum marks. This x shows my maximum marks. Like now, if we will go for solve it further, so we can write it as 20/100 into x plus 9 is equals to 35/100 into x minus 12. So we can do one thing, we just simply transfer this 12 to this side and this 20% of x to that side. So here we are getting like 9 plus 12 equals to 35x minus 20x/100. So ultimately here we are getting like 21 equals to 15x/100. And when we solve it, here we are getting 5, 7. And here we are getting 20. So the value of x is nothing but 140. The value of x is nothing but 140, and that represents your maximum marks. So as you will get the maximum marks, now you have to determine the minimum passing marks. Now what you have to do, you have to determine the minimum passing marks. So it is quite easy to go with this one. So I just simply put the value over here just to determine the minimum passing marks. 20/100 into 140 plus 9, right? So these zeros are eliminated. Here we are getting like 28 plus 9, and the ultimate answer is 37. This is my minimum passing marks. This is what? This is our minimum passing marks. Now we also have to find out the 125% of the maximum marks. So this is nothing but 125/100 into 140. So we can write it as like 5/4 into 140, and you will get your answer as 170. And you will get your answer as 175. Is it clear? So basically you can solve it in either way, whatever you like. If you want to solve it like this, you can do that. If you want to solve it like in this manner, then you can also do that, right? So the correct answer over here is option number D. Now let's move towards the next question, and let's see what is the next question we are having and how we are going to deal with that. So the next question says that in a village, 3 people contested for the post of counselor. Due to their own interest, all the candidates should get at least 30% of the votes. Okay. If the candidate with least majority got 30% of the votes, what could be the minimum absolute margin of votes by which the winning candidate lead by the nearest rival if each candidate got an integral percent of votes? Here, what we need to find out? We need to find out the minimum absolute margin by which the winning candidate leads, right? And the value should be in the integer, or we can say in the integral format, so that we will easily able to find the number. So basically this is a very easy type of question, but you have to focus on the words which is given in this particular question. So just simply try to find out the correct answer over here. Okay, let's see how we are going to do that. Let's suppose the total number of voters that we are having is equal to 100. Let total voters is equals to 100, right? Now the question says that every candidate got at least 30% of the votes, and the one who's having with the least majority is also having 30% of votes. So here we can say that the person or the candidate who loses the contest is having 30% of the total votes. 30% of total votes. So we can say that he is having 30 votes. So we can say that he is having 30 votes, right? Because we assume that here we are having total 100 votes. Now for the remaining two candidates, how many remaining votes we are having? So if we will talk about the remaining votes. So the remaining votes are 100 minus 30, that is equals to 70. Now we are having 70 votes left. Now these 70 votes are divided in rest two candidates, okay. So now let's start dividing it. So the first type that I can say that maybe they both are getting 35 and 35 votes. Maybe they are getting like 35 votes. But if they are getting 35 votes, then the election will be in the draw case. That means there is no winner. But it is clearly given that there is a winning candidate. There's a winning candidate, and we have to focus on this minimum absolute margin. Minimum absolute margin with the nearest rival. So the another case is, let's suppose he is getting 34 votes, but he is getting 36 votes. In this case also, the 70 votes are divided, and this candidate will win, and this is the second, or we can say the first runner-up. So here the difference in between these two persons is of 2 votes. The difference is of 2 votes, okay. But there's one more condition. Maybe he will get like 33 votes and he will get 37 votes. But the difference over here will become of 4 votes. Maybe there's some condition where he will get 32 votes and he will get 38 votes. Similarly, maybe he will get 31 votes and he will get 39 votes. Now, why I'm not considering 30? Because if they will get 30 and something else, then it is not possible. So, here we can say that here the difference is of like 6 votes, and here we are getting a difference of like 8 votes. But what we have to do, we have to focus on the minimum absolute margin, and the minimum value that we are getting over here is 2. So that's why the correct option over here is option number D. The correct option over here is option number D. We have to focus on the minimum absolute margin with the nearest rival. So he is the nearest rival, not this one. He is the nearest rival, not this one, right? So the correct answer over here is option number D. The correct answer over here is what? Option number D. Okay. Now let's move towards the next question and let's see what is the next question and how we are going to deal with that. So the next question is from the concept of number system. So the question says that the number obtained by interchanging the digits of a 2-digit number is greater than the original number by 9 if the sum of the 2 digits of the number is 15. What is the original number? What we have to do? We have to find out the original number. This is a very simple question. We can easily able to determine the answer. So what is the correct answer that you are getting? Here we are having a 2-digit number, and now what we are doing, we are just interchanging the digits. Let's see. Let's suppose the number that we are having is like XY, right? XY, this is my 2-digit number. Now it says that the sum of these digits are equal to 15. That means X plus Y is equals to 15. So first I'll go with the options. 5 plus 8, that is 13, not 15, eliminated. 7 plus 6, that is 13, not 15. 7 plus 9, that is 16, not 15. 7 plus 8, that is 15, but I am having one more option, that is none of these, right? So what I need to do, I need to check my number. Now my question says that I am doing some operation with the digits. So if I want to create this particular number, the original number looks like this. Like if I want to create my number with the help of digits, just to create original number, it looks like 10x plus y. Because they are representing their place value also. When I reverse this, or we can say, if we are just interchanging the position. So instead of reversing, if we interchange the position. Interchange, then it will become 10y plus x, right? And my numbers look like yx, right? Okay. Now, my question says that if you will go with the option, then also you can easily able to determine the option. Just simply reverse it and just try to find out the values if they are satisfying it or not, right? Okay. Now, my question says that interchanging the digits of 2-digit number is greater than the original number by 9. So we can say that my interchange number is 10y plus x. So when I subtract my original number from this one, the answer that I am getting is equals to 9, right? So when I open up, so I'll get 9y minus 9x, that is equals to 9. So I can say that y minus x equals to 1, right? So from this I can also write it like y equals to x plus 1. Y equals to x plus 1, right? Here I am having the first equation and here I am having the second equation. And from this equation, I can say that y equals to 15 minus x, right? 15 minus 6, or you can also do one thing, you can just simply put the value in that particular equation. Instead of like writing it like this one, just simply put the value of y in that particular equation. So I can write like x plus 1 equals to 15. So here we are having 2x plus 1 equals to 15. That means 2x is equals to 14. That means the value of x is nothing but 7. The value of x that we are getting in this particular case is equals to 7. So when I put this particular value over here, I'll just simply get my value of y, that is nothing but 8. The value of y that I am getting over here is 8. The value of y that I am getting over here is 8. And when I want to create my number, I just simply put the value over here, and the answer that I am getting is 78. The answer that we are getting over here is 78. That means option number D is the correct one. But let's suppose if I want to check it via the options only. So when I reverse this number, it will become 87. And when I subtract 78 from it, I'll get my answer as 9 only. And the sum of the digits is also equals to 50. So instead of doing all these things, if I am having these type of option, then I can easily able to determine that. But let's suppose I am not having the specific options, or like I am just confused in the option, then in that particular case you can do it like this only, right? So this is the question from the concept of our number system, where we have to determine the number, right? Okay, let's move towards the next question, and let's see what the next question is and how we are going to deal with this. Ram buys good worth rupees 7,648. He gets a rebate of 7.5% on it. After getting the rebate, he pays scales tax at the rate of 12%. Find the amount he will have to pay for the goods approximately. We have to find out the approximately amount that is paid by the Ram just to have the goods, just to buy the goods. So first you have to calculate the rebate. After that, you have to put a tax of 12%, and in the ending you will get your correct answer. Just simply try to find out the approximate value. After that, we will calculate it. Let's start how we are going to deal with it. So the worth rupees, or we can say the SP of the item, is nothing but 7,648 rupees. This is what? This is the selling price of the item. Okay. But the question says that he gets a rebate of 7.5. That means we can write this value as 7.5. We can write this value as 7.5. That means he only has to pay the 92.5% of this selling price. Now, because of getting the rebate of 7.5%, he only has to pay the 92.5% of 7,648, right? So first we need to calculate this value. So 92.5 by 100 into 7648. Okay, so here we are getting like 40 over here. If we will like eliminate it with the help of 20, 5. So here we are getting like 40, and here we are getting like 37. We are getting it like 37. And when we solve it further, we will get our value as like 774.4 rupees. We are getting it like 774.4 rupees. Now, he also has to pay a sales tax that is of 12%, but on this particular amount after getting the rebate, right? Now, amount Ram has to pay. Amount Ram has to pay. So, the amount on which this 12% tax is applicable is this one, and 12%. That means he has to pay this much amount and 12% of this much also. So ultimately, we can say that we have to calculate the value of 112% of 7074.4 rupees. We ultimately have to calculate this particular value. And this will nearly equal to 7925. This is nearly equal to 7925. Is it clear? So the correct answer over here is option number B. The correct answer over here is option number B. So whenever we are having a question of like rebate, and then after that we like there's some taxes there, then we have to first find out the rebated amount, and after that the specific quantity or the specific amount that we are having, and on that particular specific amount we have to apply our tax. Is it clear? On the specific amount only we have to apply our tax. Clear? Okay. Next one. So the next question says that a manager divided 234 into 3 workers, that is P, Q and R, such that 4 times P's share is equal to 6 times Q's share, which is equal to 3 times of R shares. How much did P get? Now what we have to do? We have to determine the amount that P gets in such case. And here we are having what? Here we are having our options. This is a very easy question from the concept of ratio. So first you have to determine the ratio in between these three, P, Q and R, and after that you can easily calculate the values. So ultimately the question says that the total amount these three people, P, Q and R, in combined they are getting 234 rupees. But the question says that the 4 times of what P is getting is equals to the 6 times of what Q is getting is equals to the 3 times of what R is getting. So here we are having equation, but from that we have to retrieve our ratio. First what we have to do? We have to retrieve our ratio. So first we are going to write down the ratio in between P, Q and R. So for the P, what we can write? 6 into 3, that is 18. For the Q, we can write 4 into 3, that is 12. And for the R, we can write 4 into 6, that is 24. Now we just simplify it with the help of 6. So we can write the ratio is 3:2:4. The ratio of P ratio Q ratio R is 3:2:4. So we can say that from this we can say that these all three are getting like 3 plus 2 that is 5, 5 plus 4 that is 9. They are getting 9 rupees or they are getting rupees on the multiple of 9, but they are actually getting 234 rupees. They are actually getting 234 rupees. It is on the multiple of 26. This is present on the multiple of 26. Now what we have to determine? We have to determine how much amount P is getting. So we just simply multiply this value by 26 also. So here what we are getting? We are getting 78 rupees. We are getting 78 rupees. That means our option number B is the correct one. That means our option number B is the correct one. So whenever we are having this type of question, just simply convert the equation in the format of ratio, and after that you can easily able to determine the answers. Is it clear? Okay. Next question. So the next question says that a piece of work has to be completed in 60 days. A number of men are employed, but it is found that only half of the work is done in 40 days. Then an additional 30 men were joined to complete the work on time. Initially, how many men are there to work? Here what we have to do? We have to apply the concept of different work. Here we have to apply the concept of different work, because here we are just dividing the same work into categories. So this is a very simple question. All you have to do is you have to apply the formula and you can easily calculate the answer. But luckily here the work is same, because here like half work is done and half work is remaining. So the amount of work is equals to each other. So you can also apply the concept of same work. But whenever we are having these type of questions, we have to apply the concept of different work. So the concept of different work says that M1, D1, W1 equals to M2, D2, W2. This is the formula that we are having for the different work, right? So here the question says that we have to determine the value of M1. So the value of D1 is nothing but is equals to what? Is equals to 40. Because they are checking their work after 40 days. So in this 40 days, the amount of W1 is equals to the half of the total work. Value is equals to the half of the total work. So now the question says that the value of M2 is nothing but the value of M1 plus 30. The value of M2 is nothing but M1, the number of men that we are having on the initial level, plus 30. Now the value of D2. So the total number of days that we are having is 60, and we have to complete the work on time. And out of these 60 work, 40 days are already consumed. So the remaining days that we are having is 20. Now the work that we have to complete is again equal to the half of the work, right? Now just simply put all the values in the formula and you will get your answer. So here we need to find out M1 into 40 divided by half is equals to M1 plus 30 multiplied by 20 divided by half, right? This is the formula that we are going to use. So this half and this half is eliminated, right? So this 20 is eliminated with this one, and here we are getting 2, right? So here we are getting 2M1 is equals to M1 plus 30. So here we will transfer this M1 over here. So we are getting M1 equals to 30. So the number of men that we are having in the very initial level is equals to 30. The number of men that we are having in the very initial level is equals to 30. If you are not able to do that, you can also write it like 40 M1 is equals to 20 M1 plus 60, right? So when you will transfer it over here, you will get like 20 m1 is equals to 60, and again you will get the same value. You will get the same value, that is m1 is equals to 30. You will get the same value, that m1 is equals to 30. So the correct answer over here is option number A. So whenever we are having the concept of same work, then you only have to use m1 d1 equals to m2 d2. But if we are having a concept of different work, then you also have to introduce w1 and the w2, right? So basically this is a formula of your different work, which we are going to use for the different work. Is it clear? Okay. Now the next one. So the next question says that average number of chocolates distributed in a class of 40 students is 5. If X number of students join newly in the class and the average goes to 5, that means the average is decreased, then find the number of students who join newly, or the number of students newly joined. Again, this is a very simple question. All you need to do is you need to find out the difference first, and after that you can easily calculate the newly joined students. This is the question from the concept of average. This is the question from the concept of what? Average. Okay. So the question says that the number of students in the class initially, number of students in class is equals to 40, right? And each 40 student, every student is getting 5 chocolates, right? Every student is getting 5 chocolates because this is the average. So the number of chocolates. So the number of chocolates in the very initial level. So 40 students and each student is getting 5 chocolates. That means the total number of chocolates that we are having is of 200. So basically we are having 200 chocolates. We are having 200 chocolates, right? But now what happened? Now X students join the class. Now the strength of the class, now number of students, now the number of students in the class is nothing but 40 plus X. But the average comes to 4. The average comes to 4. That means we can say that the 40 students, if we are not talking about this X students, now because of this, now these 40 students are also getting like 4 chocolates each. So from this we can say that, they are getting 40 into 4. That means now these 40 students are getting only 160 chocolates. Only 160 chocolates. Now we can say that here we can observe one thing, that here we are getting a difference of 40 chocolates. Here we are getting a difference of 40 chocolates. Why we are getting a difference of 40 chocolates? Because of these X students. Because of these X students. Let's suppose if this X students will not come to the class, again these 40 children are getting 5 chocolates each, and the total number of chocolate will remain same, that is 200. Now this time also the number of chocolate will remain same, but because of these X students, these 40 students are getting only 4 chocolates. That means in these 40 students, we only distributed this 160 chocolates. That means these 40 chocolates are divided in between these X students. So we can say that these X students are getting 40 chocolates. average of the class is equals to 4, then we can say that each X student is also getting 4 chocolate. Each student is also getting 4 chocolates. So in how many students we can divide this 40 chocolates if we are giving 4 chocolates to each student? So we can say that we can distribute this 40 chocolates to 10 students if we are giving 4 chocolates each. So the value that we have to find is nothing but option number B, that is equals to 10. The correct answer over here is what? Option number B, that is newly joined students is equals to 10. Is it clear? So first what we did, we just simply find out the total number of quantity that we are having. Now we just simply find out the difference, and with the help of difference we can just simply find out the newly joined students. Is it clear? So whenever we are having the concept of average, there's nothing required like we have to introduce the variable only. We can easily determine the correct answer. Is it clear? Okay. Next. So the next question says that from 4 men and 5 women, the committee has to be formed by 5 people and it contains at least 1 man. In how many ways the committee can be formed? And here we are having our options. So again, this is a very simple question that you have to solve and you have to answer. You have to write your answer in the comment section so that we can just simply cross-check your answer. In how many ways such committee can be formed? Where we have to keep or we have to contain at least 1 man. Okay, let's see how we are going to deal with that. So the question says that we are having like 4 men and 5 women. So we can say that here we are having like 9 persons. And out of these 9 persons, if I want to create a committee, then I need 5 persons. If let's suppose there is no such condition is given. There is no condition. So the number of ways to make or to form a committee without any condition. In how many ways I can do that? There's no condition. So basically 9 persons are there and I have to create a committee of 5 persons. That means I have to select 5% at random. So in 9C5, in these number of ways, I can easily able to create my committee. So the total number of ways are 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 divided by 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, right? Or you can also write it like 9 factorial divided by 4 factorial divided by 5 factorial, right? So here what we can do, we just simply eliminate the values over here. Here we are getting like 9 into 7, that is 63, 63 into 2, that is 126 ways. So in 126 ways, I can create a committee if there is no condition. But my question says that there is a condition. That condition says that I need at least 1 man in my committee. The condition says that I need at least 1 man in the committee. So whenever we are having this type of thing, you can go like in the either way. We are having two types to solve this particular question. But in the very first manner, what we do, whenever we are having like total number, total amount of something, and if we subtract the condition that we don't want, so basically if we subtract the things that we don't want from the total, we will get what we want. We will get the thing that we want. So here the question says that here we are having 4 men and 5 women, right? 4 men and 5 women, and basically we have to create a committee in which at least there's a man. We have to create a committee in which at least a man. So if I have to create a committee of 5 persons, right? I have to create a committee of 5 persons, but I know that the total number of ways in which I can create a committee is 126, and the thing that I don't want is like committee of 5 persons. There is no men. I can create a committee of 5 women only. Then there is no man in that, so I have to create, or I have to subtract all women committees, so that I can get my answer in which at least one man is there. At least one man is there. So this is what we are going to do. So in this particular case, the number of committees in which there is no man, committee with no man, is nothing but when we are having all the females in the committee, that means 5C5. That means we are having just one way in which we can create a committee in which all the candidates are females. All the candidates are female. So we just simply subtract this committee from the total number of committee and we will get our answer. So the at least one man committee is equals to the total minus no man committee, right? No man committee, and here we are getting like 126 minus 1, and the correct answer that we are getting is like 126 ways. Sorry, 126 minus 1, that is 125 ways. The total number of committees where at least one man is present is equals to 125 ways. Is it clear? So this is the first method through which you can solve it. There's one more method. So the question says that basically you are having 9 persons, right? You are having 9 persons, and in these 9 persons, 4 are men and 5 are women. And you want to create a committee. You want to create a committee of 5 persons. And in these 5 persons, you need at least one man. The condition is what? Condition says that at least one man. Right? At least one man. Okay. So the first case that I am having, case 1. Maybe in these 5 persons, I am having just one man plus 4 women, right? Case 2 says that maybe I am having case like 2 men and 3 women. I may have like case 3rd in which we are having like 3 men plus 2 women. Case 4 says that 4 men and 1 woman. These are the possible cases. In each and every committee we are having 5 persons, and whenever we are having different cases, what we need to do? We need to add all the values. We need to add all the values. And when we calculate the values of this one, so here, in how many ways I can select one man? So 4C1 into 5C4. So this is nothing but 4 into 5. That means in 20 ways we can create such committees. Here we are having like 4C2 into 5C3. So here we are having 6 into, here we are getting 10. So basically here we are getting 60 ways, right? Here we can write 4C3 into 5C2. So here what we are getting? We are getting like 4, and here also we are getting 10. That means here we are getting 40 ways. Now in this one, so 4C4 into 5C1. So 5 into 1. Here we are having like 1 into 5. That means 5 ways. So whenever we are having different case, what we need to do? We need to add all the values. So when I add all these values, again I am getting my same answer, that is 125 ways. Again I am getting the same answer, that is 125 ways. So you can solve it like in this manner also, but this is like a takes our less time. So if you are having such type of things, whenever you only have to eliminate few options so that you can easily able to get the complete value. So in that particular case, just try to follow this particular pattern because it saves our time. So with this question, let's end this video here only. I really hope you learned a lot and you practice a lot with these type of questions. And we are also going to take some more practice sessions for you, for the students who are preparing for LIC AAO. So don't forget to share the playlist with your friends so that they can also practice. Until then, keep smiling, stay safe, bye-bye. Thank you so much for watching this video.